What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to our Week 10 reviews of this college football slate. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Texas-Vanderbilt game, down to the world's biggest cocktail party, and then the nightmare in Neyland the Sooners caused. Starting off with the Texas hosting Vanderbilt, this game was Texas all the way for 3.5 quarters. It started out Texas. First play of the game, 75-yard touchdown to Ryan Wingo. He was unstoppable in this offense until he got hurt. Vanderbilt was struggling all day to be able to tackle, and especially against these fast and slippery athletic wide receivers Texas has, it's going to be a tough task to overcome to win. I thought Arch Manning played a lot better in this game. He played more like the Arch Manning we expected to see earlier in the year than we've seen, and it was good to see. If you're a Texas fan, he looked much better and much improved. The offense as a whole looked much more improved against a really good Vanderbilt team who has had a really good defense all season. And lastly, for Texas, that defensive line is nasty. I think Oklahoma probably has the best defensive line in the SEC, and I think this Texas team has number 2. You probably could make a case for them having the best. OU and Texas have very good defensive lines this year. This just wasn't Pavia's day. It was not his best game. He didn't play great. He didn't play bad, but his team was not in this game until that fourth quarter. Yes, did Vanderbilt come back and make it a game in the fourth quarter? 100%. You have to give them props for that. And if you're Vanderbilt, you have to build off that. Going into your next week and your next game, you have to build off of, look what we did in that fourth quarter, let's replicate it. They were able to move the football effectively. Their defense came out and got stops. They were tackling better. The special teams was better. They almost had an onside kick that would have sent this game possibly to overtime, but barely missed out. Overall, Texas dominated this game. The score doesn't reflect it. The box stats don't reflect it, but Texas dominated. Moving down to Georgia, Florida, Georgia, whatever you want to call it. I call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. This was a game. This was one that Florida had all the things they needed to win. They were in the football game the entire time. They were in it till the last final whistle. They were in this football game. They had so many chances to put it away and win. They just weren't able to close it out and win. And you think part of that is maybe the new head coach, Billy Gonzalez. He did have some risky play calls. He went for it on the fourth down that they didn't get it, and it went really bad. But if they would have got it and put themselves up 2 possessions, I think Florida wins this game. Did it work? No. But you like to see it out of interim head coach. For Georgia, how do you kill them? How can you put this Georgia team away? The only team that's done it is Bama. Everyone else has them by the ropes, and somehow they slip away and win. Somehow this Georgia team finds a way to win, and I said it before, but it's all Kirby Smart. The way he can go in halftime and make second half adjustments to win football games is absurd. He has to be the best adjustment coach in college football right now, and it's not close. Every game, they've gone into so many games this year losing at halftime or barely up, and they come out and they dominate. Coming out of halftime, what'd they do? Florida gets the ball, quick 3 and out, Georgia goes down and scores the game. They have such good adjustments that it's really hard to beat them, even with the lead coming out of halftime. I think that Stockton has continued to look better as the season goes on. He's getting better as a quarterback, better as a passer. Does he still have his moments? Absolutely. Is he growing and improving to be that championship caliber quarterback they want? Also, absolutely. This Florida team, they looked bought in. They were clearly a bought-in football team. They wanted to win. After the game, Florida wide receiver Eugene Wilson on the sideline crying. That's how much he wanted to win this game and how much it meant to him as a senior on this football team. They want to win. This team is bought in. Clearly, Billy Gonzalez, I think he did a pretty good job managing this game. Being his first ever head coaching game against a Georgia Bulldogs team, neutral site, I think he did a very good job. Granted, their offense fell flat in the fourth quarter. They needed points. They couldn't get it. Did part of that because they got shafted on a conversion call, fourth down, and they go deep for 60 yards and they don't get it after review? Yes. Was that a horrible call? Yes. I don't know how it wasn't a catch. I think it was a catch. That would have changed this game in so many ways, but they didn't get it, and ultimately they lost this football game. Is there a lot of good things to take away if you're a Florida fan? 100%. You're still in the hunt as your head coach for Lane Kiffin. There's so many big jobs, so many big names available. You're going to go get someone good. There's still plenty of hope for this Florida team in the future. They'll be fine. This year is kind of a wash, but let's go turn it around. You can go turn it around. DJ Lagway looks better. Jaden Ball looks great. Whichever coach you bring in next year is going to have a uber-talented roster, and let's see if Florida can make some noise next year. And before the OU game, I want to talk about Miami getting upset by SMU. Rhett Lashley, after he gets a contract extension, he's never lost. He did it once again this week, beating Miami. SMU, great win. Kevin Jennings looked great. Touchdown drive in overtime, they just ran the football and they just bullied Miami all the way down the field and scored a touchdown. It wasn't even fair. For this Miami team, is it a Mario Cristobal problem? This is what, again, after last year we watched them start out 8-0 and they collapsed at the end. Now what, they were 6-0 and they've lost 2 out of the last 3. This Mario Cristobal coach teams at Miami somehow find a way to start great and collapse later as the year. Can they turn it around and go win out to possibly make the playoffs still? It's going to be tough, but they can. And finally, known as the Tate Sandell game, the Sooners go into Knoxville and cause a nightmare in Neyland. This game, what a game. The entire first half, the Sooners were somehow winning, but I felt like we were down by 50. It did not feel like we were winning. Our offense couldn't get anything going. The only offense we had was a 71-yard scoop and score where R. Mason Thomas just babied Kitzelman all the way down the field. It was one of the most electric and coolest defensive plays I maybe have ever seen in all of football. The Oklahoma team looked bad in the first half. The defense was struggling. They were allowing so many yards. The only reason they were in it in the first half was Tennessee turnovers. Something I said in my preview was Joey Aguilar is going to spread the ball down the field. He's going to throw it. He had 24 interceptions in 2 years at Appalachian State. It was known that he was going to test this OU secondary. And granted, this OU secondary is the weakest part of our defense. And tonight in Neyland, they stepped up to the occasion and got 2 interceptions. They played phenomenal. Granted, did Tennessee get some 70-yard or 50-yard touchdowns, 40-yard completions? Yes, but most of those weren't super 50-yard passes. They were short throws that turned into long runs. So I think the secondary, all they did, they played pretty well, I would say. The first half was bad offensively. We didn't run the football a ton. The pass game wasn't there. John Mateer looked really happy feet, jittery in the pocket. He didn't seem very confident in himself or running either. In the second half, we must have had a Kirby Smart type of halftime talk. This team came out totally different. I felt like we were watching an entirely different football team that second half, the way the Sooners played. That first half, it was slow. We couldn't get anything going. Second half, we came out, we run the ball. Give X the football. He is a true dominator. Being a sophomore this year, he needs to be the running back 1 going forward, and I think he will be, as he got 16 carries, and Troy Blaylock only got 1. Xavier Robinson is that running back 1, and he's proved it. He averaged, 7 yards a carry last night? He is the best running back on this Oklahoma roster. Keep feeding him the ball. Also, John Mateer looked like a completely rejuvenated player. The ability in his feet to run the football, not be hesitant, know what he wants, knew what he wanted in the pass game, and just go get it was something we have not seen from John Mateer, definitely since the OU Michigan game, and definitely since pre-injury. This was the best this OU offense has looked. I think for Oklahoma, you have to go into this bye week, and you have 2 weeks until you face Bama. Go into this bye week, look at all the tape from that second half. Ignore the first half. Forget it. It was bad. That second half. Watch the tape and do everything you can in practice this week to replicate it and go down to Tuscaloosa in Alabama. And if you can do that and your defense plays the way they did last week, you have a chance, a very good chance, to go into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama. Last thing about Oklahoma is Tate Sandell. I think we have the best kicker in the country. This kid is 18 out of his last 18 for field goals. He has 6 for 6 from 50+. He's hit 8 field goals from 40+ this year. He has been absolute nails. He only has 1 missed field goal all year. He's 18 for 19 all season. He has been so good this year. I think he should have his name in the Lou Groza Award for sure. Headed down to Tennessee, let's talk about them. Their tempo killed Oklahoma's defensive line early in this football game. Early in the football game, they caught Oklahoma having to call timeouts to get subs on the field because we tried to sub. They got Oklahoma in plays where Tennessee was able to run for 5, 6, 7 yards because our defensive line was tired after being on the field for so long. They were able to utilize tempo to their advantage. And then once Oklahoma was able to stop the run game and limit them, they only had, 60 rushing yards this entire game. I said in my preview, if Tennessee can't run the football, they can't win. It is what opens up all their offense. They want you to stack the box so then they have one-on-ones on the outside. Oklahoma did a fantastic job all day of stopping the run and making them one-dimensional. We knew most of the time what they were doing. Early in that first half, you saw Robert Spears-Jennings creeping down in the box. The whole first half, almost every play, he was creeping down trying to stop the run. Once we were able to stop the run, what did he do? He sat back. What did that do? Clogged the passing lanes for Joey Aguilar and his Josh Heupel offense. In the first quarter, the deep ball was there. You know why it was there? Because they could run the football. I say it so much, but When they're able to throw the ball and run the football, this offense is unstoppable. OU was getting torched in that first half. It truly felt like Tennessee was winning by 20 plus going into halftime, but somehow the Sooners had a 16-10 lead. Honestly, when it was 10-0, I thought the Sooners were going to lose. It just didn't feel like a close game at all. But the Sooners found a way to pull it out. And for Tennessee, in the first half, they really killed themselves with 2 crucial interceptions, especially one where there's 30 seconds left in the first half, and Joey Aguilar throws the ball down. Robert Spears-Jennings gets the interception, runs it back to about the Tennessee 35 to 40 yard line, well within Tate Sandale's field goal range. Oklahoma runs 2 plays, boom, we kick a field goal, and that gives us a 16-10 lead heading into halftime. That was a huge swing right there of giving us a 6-point lead, which was something that we never looked back from after halftime. For Tennessee, they just really had a bad third quarter. Opening the third quarter, they had a short pass. Cortland Guillory forgot to wrap up. He tried to just shoulder tackle him, and it turned into a 60-yard plus receiving touchdown. After that, the Sooners did not look back. They were able to get 2 back-to-back 3-and-outs, which they were able to go. The first one, Xavier Robinson fumbled the football. The second 3-and-out, the Oklahoma Sooners went down, and they scored a touchdown. And that 3-and-out was caused by P.J. Adebawore, who got a huge TFL on a Joey Aguilar run. I think overall my takes for this game are that this Sooners offense looked completely different. If this OU offense can play that way, they really could play themselves into a playoff spot if they can continue to win football games, and they have to go into Tuscaloosa and make it a fight. If they go into Tuscaloosa and get blown out, playoff hopes, they're gone. If you can go into Tuscaloosa and keep it a one-possession game or even win, the playoffs are everywhere there for you. The Sooners benefited this week because they won, and a ton of teams picked up that second loss. So OU's 2 losses looks more normal now than OU with 2 losses and everyone else with 1 loss. And talking about Tennessee, my biggest key for them is their defense played great, I think. I think for a majority, 80% of this football game, their defense played the best they've played all year. They were holding Oklahoma in check the entire first half. It ultimately was the turnovers that killed them. Oklahoma has lost so many games this year because they lost a turnover battle. What did they do tonight? They won the turnover battle. Tennessee, they lost it, and it really hurt them. They were giving Oklahoma more possessions than Tennessee, especially with how bad Tennessee's defense is versus how good Oklahoma's defense is. It really set up Oklahoma to be in the right position to go win this football game. And last thing I want to say about Oklahoma is this is probably Brent Venables' best win. He deserved this after last week. We had a lot of talk about him getting fired. Shoot, I was even a person who said that he may be getting fired if things continue to go downhill. Well, this week, he showed all of Sooner Nation why he is the guy for the job. We need to trust in Brent Venables, and let's go get behind this team because right now they still have a path to the playoffs. Remember, everybody, these are just my takes. Make sure to leave y'all's takes down below in the comments. Also, while you're down there, hit the like, subscribe, and noti bell, and make sure to tune back in this next Wednesday for my previews of the Week 11 football games. Boomer.